guys, it's Kevin again. I know this is late, but this is going to be my review for Season 1, Episode 2 of Twisted, what was it called? Grief is a 5-letter word. Honestly, I thought this episode was a lot better than the first one. I mean, I did say the first one had a lot of really good highlights, but this one really, it didn't have the Mean Girl stuff, and everything with the Mean Girl stuff was funny. I liked that this episode had quite a lot of humor, especially with the people who didn't really give a damn about Regina and just pretended to like her. I really thought that was great. So pretty much the episode was all about everybody having a hard time grieving over Regina, pretty much. Especially Danny. So the other thing that's going on, though, is, so we see how, they're in the funeral, and everyone's pretty much having a hard time. The one mean girl, though, is saying all this stuff about Regina, and, Lacey kind of puts her in a place and says, you didn't even like Regina, though. And I really loved Lacey in this episode. I mean, Lacey was like, she stole the episode, I think, for me. The thing I love about Lacey's character that I didn't say is that she puts people in their places. Like, she knows when, when they're not telling the truth, she puts them in their place. I love those type of characters. Just puts people in their places. Very Santana-ish from, Glee, like Santana, not like mean, but puts them in their place and tells them straightforward, you're wrong, and calls them out about it. So I really like that. But we see how everyone's having a pretty hard time grieving. And the one thing that she's having a hard time, the one thing that is bad is that Jo is basically battling with her father over her friendship with Danny. And she and, everybody else is trying to prove Danny's innocence. But still, not a lot of people believe him. They're trying to show that he's just a normal kid. And, what ends up happening is it's also Rico who's trying to help him. But what's happening is that, it gets to the point where he realizes that, he kind of starts to doubt himself. He feels very bad for his mother, and he starts to blame himself for things. And when he talks to his mother, he says how it's his fault that they're broke because he was in juvie all the time and it costs a lot of money. So it's pretty much his fault that they're broke. And I thought that was really sad. But again, a really nice performance from Avon Joggia. He's such a good actor. And he definitely is the star of this show, I think. The other thing I really liked was how Danny and Jo set up the dinner between the two families. It seemed to be going well, but then the family kind of started to ask him questions about the past, and that's when he really started to think about things, and not really, so she kind of just put her in her place and things like, not put her in her place, but he kind of just really started to think about things, and he just really, I think, feels bad for things, and again, none of this is his fault, but he really is starting to feel that way, and I think it's really sad, honestly, because Danny is probably my favorite character on this show. I mean, he's a really great leading character. They definitely picked a really good leading character, and I really do enjoy his character, so I really do enjoy his character. So now let's get to Lacey. As I said, I think Lacey was the star of this episode, in my opinion, because, I mean, she really put people in her place. The first thing that I want to talk about is, of course, I said with the mean girl, but pretty much what's happening is we have this whole group of people, and I love the one nerdy kid who's like, she told me I was her nerd bunny or something like that. That was hilarious. And she pretty much tells everybody the truth about Regina and how she wasn't a very nice person, and she feels very bad, and she tries to help this girl Phoebe, who was her former frenemy, and they try to start this bond, and it actually started to go really well with them. I mean, she really started to reach out to her. Phoebe told her a really nice story about, something that happened between her and Regina that's on her mind, and I think everyone pretty much is just trying to figure out what to do about Regina and things like that. So yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The other thing I loved was Denise Richards' character, Danny's mother, and the one guy who was flirting with her. I thought that was really funny how he had some comedic relief in there. I really did enjoy that. And, the other thing that I liked was that it was just a really touching episode about, them trying to grieve over her. And I can see why this is viewer discretion advised, because this is some heavy material we're dealing with here. And, what do I think about Danny? I mean, the thing about Danny is that they're trying to prove his innocence, and it's really not gonna work. Nobody called him socio, which I didn't really like. I mean, that we should have seen them call him socio more, but we didn't see a lot of that. I did really enjoy this one more than the second one, as I said, but that was pretty much what happened in the episode. I mean, it was a really good episode, though. I really did enjoy how, they're all trying to grieve over her, and how it's very hard for them to. And I mean, even though the girl was not a very nice person, it's hard to grieve over someone when you know them so well. I mean, I am graduating middle school, and half of these people in my yearbook I'm not even going to see again. I might never see again because we're being divided. See all these kids? Yeah, we're being divided, so I might never see half of these people again. So yeah, I might never see half of these people again. Hopefully I will. But I mean, that's really hard because, I mean, we're being divided into high schools, and I can't even imagine what it's like to lose somebody you've known for so long. Even though people didn't really like her, they still really did care about her deeply, and they felt bad for her. And I enjoyed that. So, again, really liked the episode. I definitely thought Lacey was the star. She really put people in her places. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Do you think Danny will be able to prove his innocence? I also loved the scene when Joe and Danny were talking about the Avengers. I like that scene. What do you think of how her parents don't really want her to see Danny again? Do you think people are going too far with it? Do you think it's going to go too far? What do you think of Lacey? Again, I thought she was the star of the episode. I just thought it was really, really good. So that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.